57 years after the assassination of Dr. King. And Dr. King talked about that stone of hope. And it's that stone of hope that gives me a fire in my belly each and every morning. It's that stone of hope that allows me to wake up and to stand to Donald Trump and to say, Donald Trump, I'm not afraid of you. It's that stone of hope. It's that stone of hope that gives me power. That's that stone of hope and the belief in each and every one of you to let you know that I'm not going to allow my ancestors, all of those who died for me, to be in this position. I am not going to disgrace them and disappoint them. I am going to use the law both as a sword and as a shield and challenge Donald Trump. And each and every time he issues an illegal executive order, I am going to stand up to him because he represents to me sincere ignorance and conscientious stupidity.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all having a great and wonderful day. Well, what we have here is Letitia James. You remember that person, this woman here that was going after Donald Trump and falsely accusing him of all these things, right? Well, apparently she's now being had for prosecution for mortgage fraud because, obviously, every last one of these people that went after Donald Trump are completely A-okay. They're completely fine. And it's just really quite hilarious, honestly. So what we have here, my friends, is this from the New York Post saying Trump administration refers in New York AG Letitia James for potential prosecution over alleged mortgage fraud. We have this here. New York Attorney General Letitia James, who infamously declared that no one is above the law when she was targeting Donald Trump, was hit with a federal criminal referral for instances of alleged mortgage fraud on Tuesday, according to a letter obtained by the Post. Federal Housing Finance Agency Director William Pute, sent the missive to Attorney General Pam Bondi and Deputy AG Todd Blanche, alleged that James had falsified our records to get home loans for a property in Virginia that she claimed was her principal residence in 2023, while still serving as a New York State prosecutor. It seems like this woman's been doing all kinds of things illegal, but it's no surprising considering it's a Democrat and all they do is breed illegal activities. Not saying that Republicans don't breed illegal activities either, but it seems to be a very, very high thing going with the Democrats. It says that occurred in late August 2023, weeks before James began her civil fraud trial against the Trump organization for overinflating the values of many of its properties, which intended in a $454 million judgment. Which is absolutely ironic, right? She's saying, oh, you're the one that have, overflowing your values and properties, but she's also committing property fraud. It is absolutely hilarious in every regard, and you just gotta laugh at it. Just gotta laugh at it for what it is, right? Ms. James was the city attorney general of New York and is required by law to have her primary residence in the state of New York, even though her mortgage applications list her intent to have the Norfolk, Virginia property as her primary home, the letter that stated. It appears Ms. James' property and mortgage-related misrepresentations may have continued to her recent 2023 Norfolk, Virginia property purchase in order to secure a lower interest rate and more favorable loan terms. In February 2001, James also purchased a 5-family dwelling in Brooklyn, but has consistently misrepresented the same property as only having 4 units in both building permit applications and numerous mortgage documents and applications. Pute attached several documents also showing that James purchased another property with her father as a co-signer, but falsely listed the pair as husband and wife in 1983 and 2000. So they're even gonna slightly go incestual here. Falsify records and property. It's absolutely hilarious every time because it's at this point. You are having Democrats project themselves constantly over and over again, right? So the Democrats will say, oh, you did this, but only finding out later on is that they're the ones that did the exact same thing that they are accusing of Trump doing or somebody else doing that they don't like. It's absolutely hilarious. So at this point in time, if you ever meet a Democrat, just say, are you projecting? because obviously they have to be considering on how often they end up doing the things that they are accusing their fellow enemies, right, of doing, right? It's hilarious. Attorney General James is focused on every single day on protecting New Yorkers, especially as this administration weaponizes the federal government against the rule of law and the Constitution. She will not be intimidated by bullies, no matter who they are. Blah 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 blah. Who cares? You felon. Right? I mean, I don't know what else to tell people. The letter referenced earlier media reports about James purportedly falsifying her residence status to get a lower mortgage rate in Virginia and misrepresenting her 5-unit residence in Brooklyn, which were first reported by the outlet White Collar Fraud. James granted power of attorney to Shamus Thompson Harrison, a relative, to sign on August 17, 2023, document authorizing the purchase of the first property, according to legal findings by the outlet. Goes on to say here, she secured a $218,000 mortgage to do so. So yeah, it ain't looking too great for her. We have this here as well. Letitia James dodges questions about mortgage fraud scandal outside New York City home and pretends to be on the phone. Again, it says embattled New York Attorney General Letitia James ducked reporters outside her Brooklyn home once they refused to answer questions about her simmering mortgage fraud scandal. James, who infamously declared no one is above the law when prosecuting former President Donald Trump, feigned talking on her cell phone as reporters peppered her with questions about her getting slapped with a federal criminal referral alleging mortgage fraud. Goes on to say here, according to a letter obtained by Post, James, who draws an annual salary of $220,000 a year, allegedly falsified records to get sweetheart home loans for a Virginia property she claimed as principal residence in 2023. So yeah, it's hilarious. It's like, oh no, it's like, no, I'm on the phone. It's like, no, you can't bother me right now. It's absolutely hilarious. And then of course we have this here for the Trump Federal War Room. We have this here for U.S. Federal Housing Finance Director Pute has referred New York General Letitia James to the DOJ for alleged mortgage fraud. Goes on to say here, Dear Attorney General Bondi and Deputy Attorney General Todd Branch, pursuant to my authority as Director of the U.S. Federal Housing Finance Agency, I am referring to the matter below as a regular of Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and the Federal Home Loan Banks as we take very seriously allegations of mortgage fraud or other criminal activity. Such conduct jeopardizes the safety and soundness of FHFA's regulated entities and the security and stability of the U.S. mortgage market. In the course of exercising U.S. federal housing authorities under the Federal Housing Enterprises Financial Safety and Soundness Act of 1992, the U.S. Federal Housing has identified matters that are inappropriate for referral to U.S. Department of Justice or for consideration of criminal prosecution. Based on media reports, Ms. Letitia James has in multiple instances falsified bank documents and property records to acquire government-backed assistance and loans and more favorable loan terms. This has potentially included falsifying resident status for Norfolk, Virginia-based home in order to secure a lower mortgage rate, and 2, misrepresenting property descriptions to meet stringent requirements for government-backed loans and government assistance. So yeah, you can see there that they're not playing around here. They are doing it. So again, it goes on to say here, in fact, a building permit issued on New York property on July 15th, 2024 lists New York property as James residence and states remain occupied. Primary residence mortgages receive more favorable loan terms, including lower interest rates, than secondary residence mortgages. Lenders view secondary residence mortgages as significantly riskier, as a borrower is more likely to continue paying off a primary residence mortgage during any financial hardship. Interest rates on secondary residence mortgages are typically between 0.25 to 0.50% higher than their primary residence counterparts. However, this gap can widen depending on the lender. At the time of the 2023 Norfolk, Virginia property purchase and mortgage, Ms. James was sitting the Attorney General of New York and is required by law to have her primary residence in the state of New York, even though her mortgage applications list her intent to have the Norfolk property, Virginia property, as her primary home. It appears Ms. James' property and mortgage rating representations may have continued to be her recent 2023 Norfolk, Virginia property purchase in order to secure a lower interest rate and more favorable loan terms. Yeah, so it ain't great. And then what Andrew Fisher has to say here, it says Letitia James may be charged with 18 U.S. U.S.C.1343 wire fraud, involves schemes to defraud using electronic communications, also bank fraud pertaining to defrauding financial institutions, and false statements to financial institutions covers knowingly making false statements to banks or credit unions, each up to 20 to 30 years in prison if convicted. She is toast. Yeah, she's done. She's done. And we have one of the old Fox News pundits talking about this. That Trump is going after these people, that he's being serious, and that these mayors or whatever that he's going after have no power. So without further ado, here's a clip.
Adams, the deal that was made, I don't know what Adams is giving Trump. I have to tell the audience up front. I don't know, and I don't use anonymous sources, but I have gotten call after call after call that said, and all of these people have agendas who are calling me. They all have agendas, all right? And they're saying that Adams knows where the bodies are buried with James and Bragg. Just throwing it out for your consumption. I'm not reporting it to be true, but it kind of makes sense, right?
Well, it's kind of weird that, like, you can say he has no power, but he's in charge of the city. And when they went after Pritzker in Illinois, they named Chicago and they went after the mayor. Yeah, I'm just saying, if you're going after the city of Chicago, you name the mayor.
No, Johnson and Adams have no power whatsoever. None. They do what they're told to do. The real power lies in the state legislature. Now, in both Illinois and New York, the state legislature gives the big middle finger to Homeland Security. Says blank you. Maybe Anderson Cooper could articulate it a little more than I am by using some vernacular, but that's what's happening. And the Trump administration knows that these mayors, this is like the utility infielder on the New York Yankees who plays maybe 3 innings a week. These guys have no power. They do what they're told to do. The big power is Newsom in California. Newsom's next. Hey, Gavin, they're coming for you. Pritzker's going to get destroyed, and Trump will bring down, I'm going to predict it here, he will bring down Letitia James and Alvin Bragg because they went on a crusade to destroy him. And President Trump is not a forgiving man.
Man, hey, I cannot say what he's saying here is incorrect, all right? I cannot say what he is saying is incorrect. Because as what we're seeing here is that Letitia James is not under any type of, it's not under any safety net. And I don't think any of these people, Alvin Bragg or et cetera, are going to be under any safety net. It's only been a few months, and the Trump administration hasn't really gone and done anything quite yet in terms of wanting to go after his political opponents per se, right? But this is not him actually going after his political opponents. This is just, him following the law and these people commit crimes. So we're going to see what goes on here. I mean, Letitia James seems to be on the chopping block, and we're just going to see on what else happens because it ain't looking too good for her. And of course, the Democrats are in a free fall. All right, guys, that's it for the video. Let's guys share. As always, take care, my friends.